How to get a no-doc business loan and a line of credit up to 150,000 plus an unsecured no-doc credit cards for your business, even when the banks tell you no. Hi, welcome into this video. My name is Michael from Viral Funding Solutions. I'm going to get right into this. Now, I'm sure you're out there looking for banks that would approve you of not having to supply any kind of documentation. We're talking about these bank statements, tax returns, credit card processing statements, and so forth if you're looking at it from a merchant cash advance product point of view. Now you have no doc, low doc type of processes, and I'll get into low docs in a moment and how that would look like. But for the most part, if we're thinking about getting a no doc business loan, which banks can provide these types of term loan options and then line of credit options, a lot of the times those line of credits are given through the SBA through those capped lines, and that's a lot of the times where they'll send you through. And those are available out there, but for those profiles and those businesses that have substantial information and it's a business that's been around for quite a long time, and revenue, credit score wise, time in business, and if you have collateral to give up and so forth, is what they will ask for. And it can be very scrutinizing. Perhaps you've gone through it and you've been declined, so you're looking for an alternative. But before I quickly go into that, yes, you can go ahead and get started by going to a bank. You have ones like TD Bank, Wells Fargo that can possibly supply you with that. And what you want to do at the very beginning is make sure you have your identity of your business put together right. And it's a whole part of the process, especially when you're building business credit, which, by the way, if you want to learn how to build business credit the right way, that gets you access to over 150, over 250,000 in funding that's not tied to your Social Security, and even having to supply a personal FICO credit score. And in some cases, a personal guarantee, just using your EIN. Then look down below in the description. There should be a free video series and more content on that. But yes, you'll want to go through a bank, and there are some options. And I wrote some of these things down so I can help you understand. Like I have it in a little bit of little paper here that I put together with my notes. And so there's this SBA lender list that you want to get in touch with. You want to find all those banks that are associated with that, because they work in conjunction with one another. So what you want to do is you want to go on Google and you want to type in something like SBA lender list and then your state. So if it were me, it would be SBA lender list Washington. So you find that on Google, you click through one of those links that gets you through there, and it'll show you all those banks that are available. And so once you have that, you can go ahead and start calling. You can go ahead and show up in person, which is something I strongly advise you do, especially if you qualify for traditional physical location banking. There's also online banking options if you're looking for a low doc, but a lot of the times that can require more than just a low doc. There's substantially more, like SBA loans are, as I'm sure you're well aware of. But that's what you can do. You can do a quick Google search of SBA lender lists in your state. So mine would be SBA lender list Washington. Yours could be New York, Texas, and then you can find that list and see who they're associated with, and then make a list of them. You can put it on your Excel spreadsheet and document what you've done, called, have you gone in person, get in touch and basis with the vice president of funding there and see what they can do to help you. But that would be, in a sense, how you can get one of these term loans / a line of credit. And what you want to do, even before you do all that, is have some established business credit. Look like you're working on it, have that paydex scale, have that number moving up more, your liquid business credit profile, the FICO SBSS score that a lot of what goes through the SBA will look for when business credit is being heavily looked at through a scope. And in some cases they can override it, which I won't get into in this moment. But you also want to have a proper address, not an virtual address. You don't want to have a PO box, UPS, etc. And you want to make it look legitimate, as well as you want to have the right profile when you're talking about a phone number. Those 800 numbers work, but you just want to be careful with how far you go. Local landlines, stuff like that really gives you an advantage, especially when you're connecting with these smaller banks. these credit unions and so forth that can really help out, and goes on and on from there. Now that's the banking side. Now, if we're talking about, well, if I don't qualify for traditional banking, well, what can I get on this side if I come online? Now, that's a good question to ask. And as I just mentioned here, you can get a credit line hybrid. And this is a program where you can get up to 150,000 in unsecured no doc credit cards for your business, even when the banks tell you no. And a huge advantage of doing this is you can get access to multiple credit cards. It's almost like a credit card stacking program here. And you can get these limits. So you might have 20,000 on one, 50,000 here, and then another one there. Or it might just be one that you're using that's high enough for you to move your business forward, continuing to build it, grow it, expand it, and even get out of a tight pinch. And this is something strongly I recommend you do, as I've gone through it, and it will give you a lot of advantages. So let me quickly go through this page, and this will be linked for you down below in the description if you need any help getting started with this credit line hybrid program, and I'll show you some of those qualifications. Also, I have this free questionnaire below, so you can get a personalized and customized response via email on what your best funding option and options are. I could include that credit line hybrid as a part of it if you qualify, and even if you don't, it's something to strongly look at and consider. If you're a startup, this is a great program, and it's actually one of the best ones that I recommend when you're getting into getting funding for your business. Sure, I can tell you go start a website, rank locally on the search engines, and you want to have all that stuff put together, sure, so it can bring you customers, get in contact with you. But also you want to understand how to get startup funding through these credit cards and how you can apply that right away to your business. So this questionnaire, if you want to get in touch, will be down below in the description. I've helped out businesses of all types, of all magnitudes, and I've seen it all. I also have other startup funding options alongside this credit line hybrid program that I'll link to down below in the description. So if you're looking for perhaps a personal / startup loan you'll qualify for, then I'll leave that, as well as all building business credit down below. So that's strongly what I recommend you do ultimately is along this process, you'll end up learning how to build business credit if you haven't. And if you have already, you're already down that route, how to get it better and so forth. So there will be this form. We have more services. I have more services here at Viral Funding Solutions, and you can get in touch with me, and I'll also give you a free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist to get you approved for funding much faster. So there's a huge advantage to that. And now let me quickly come back over here. So some fast facts on the Credit Suite credit line hybrid. So this is through the program that you'll be going through with Credit Suite. Approval amount up to 150,000, and I've done a separate review I'll link to down below with Credit Suite and why I strongly recommend them if you're looking at any kind of business credit building, and why you should heavily be investing your time into that segment, and why it's so useful to build business credit that gets you access to funding on the back end, as opposed to just going through the front end and probably coming up with complications, which I just see every single day. But credit quality, good. Collateral, none required. Documents, none required. So why you need the credit line hybrid, 24-hour pre-approval, 0% interest for 6 to 18 months. This is no joke. And this is a strong position in the marketplace when you're looking to get 0% interest. When I hear from people, well, how do I get 0%, 1 to 2%? A lot of the times prime rates have gone up because of the market, because of our economy. And if you're still battling with that, and that in a lot of regards can be low enough, if you're looking for something with 0% interest for 6 to 18 months, then this is what I strongly recommend. A lot of businesses will do this to bridge the gap. So if you're in like real estate, you know, getting your properties, everything situated in that time, you just take on 0% interest. And if you're in the medical space, construction, manufacturing, trucking, etc., this is a huge advantage, especially if you're a complete startup with no revenue, no cash flow. There are no cash flow requirements. Business credit can also be used to help qualify. Flexibility, use the funds to do what you need to do for your business. Even startup businesses can qualify. True no-doc financing program, application to funding in 3 weeks or less. No upfront application fee, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Be careful who you go through. Credit approvals are up to 150,000 per individual. No collateral requirements, ability to use a credit partner to qualify if needed. And that's what I love about this, like with the whole personal guarantor and all this that are having a guarantor on there where you can have, you can bring somebody in, they have, you're underneath their account, and it helps you with the credit side of the equation and the payment history and all of that included. And that can really give you an advantage. So if you're in that position right now where you yourself don't have sufficient credit, at least a 680 and above to qualify, then you can do that. Get on the line with somebody else. Ability to use a credit partners to qualify if needed is a huge, huge advantage. No cash flow requirements can help build or improve your business credit score. Another huge one. Many don't report to personal credit, some will. So you can even get through this and go through corporate cards. So there's a standard and then corporate. There are ways for you to maximize the amount of funding you get, but it won't be all strictly through business credit. It'll be in a different regard. And there are just some things you're going to learn in this that I can't get into fully into detail until you're in it, and it'll really open your eyes, and then we can communicate more there. So how does this work? It's a simple 4-step process. Step 1, complete the form for a one-on-one consultation with the representative. Step 2, submit your application. Soft pull is on your credit, so you don't have to worry about anything being moved around there with the hard pull. 24-hour, the 3rd step, get pre-qualified in as little as 24 hours. Step 4, meet directly with credit line hybrid advisors and get access to your credit lines. And if you're not approved, you'll find out why, as well as what you can do to get approved. So that's a huge advantage. So it wouldn't hurt. But if you already know, then you know. So how to qualify for funding with the credit line hybrid. Below are the requirements to qualify for credit line hybrid by either you or your credit partner who has at least 10% ownership in the business. A 680 plus credit score on with all 3 consumer credit bureaus. So what I said about a little bit earlier about the corporate and the consumer credit, there are different checks. So you can have, you can build and get funding through getting it just through your consumer credit reports. And then there's also on the whole corporate side, and there's more that you can get max out. And there's just more to this than meets the eye here at face value. So credit card 3 years old with 5,000 plus limit must be a primary card. Minimum of two open revolving accounts with a year and a half of good payment history. Under 40% utilization on all revolving accounts. This is on all of them. No more than 4 unsecured opens. No more than 4 unsecured accounts opened in the past 12 months. No more than 4 to 6 inquiries per bureau in the last 6 months, preferably less. No bankruptcies within the past 7 years. No open unpaid collections, liens, or judgments. And then this program does require a personal guarantee from you or your credit partner if you authorize users accounts for qualification, and then you can go through there. Terms that you can't really beat, as I mentioned earlier, at 0% for 6 to 18 months. Rates vary with each credit line. And then how much does it cost? There is a one-time success fee of 9.9% that is due after you have received access to your credit lines. If you don't get approved, you don't pay. Best of all, you can use your new 0% credit lines to pay the success fee. Multiple finance options all in one place. If you're wondering if the credit line hybrid is right for you, you can find out now. And if it's the best fit, they have. If it's not the best fit, we have multiple options with easier qualifications and better terms. You can find out how much you qualify for today with our business finance blueprint qualifier, and let our team help you find the best option for you, your situation. So you can see when you get started here, it'll bring up this screen. First name, last name, phone, and email. You'll get in touch, and it'll really help you. There's also this free case study webinar you can pick up, how the credit line hybrid can help you get up to 150,000 unsecured no-doc credit cards for your business, even when the banks say no. And as seen on Forbes, Inc. 5000, entrepreneur, business, and what you're going to see, how to improve your business fundability so you can get the most money at the best terms, how to easily 5 to 8x your highest credit limit with a lesser known program as the credit line hybrid financing, how to get 0% rates up to 18 months and even take cash out. So one thing I want to mention is this is a very in-depth of a webinar, and all the help you get through this credit line hybrid program is bar none one of the best that I've seen out there on how you can build credit and how you can get access to limits with these consumer reports, how you can go in through the corporate side, how much you can max out on, and what are the advantages when you max out, when you don't max out, what's being reported, a lot of things, a lot of treats. The secret unpublished reasons why banks deny applications and how to get approved before you even apply, how to beat the banks and access loans and credit lines, even when they say no, many case studies of other business owners obtaining substantial capital, even when they thought they couldn't qualify, and much more. And you'll get in there. And it's presented by Ty Crandall, who is the owner, CEO of Credit Suite. and one of the people who's been very helpful in my journey. And he's going to be presenting this webinar for you. And I strongly recommend giving this a go. It's one of the best programs out there to get funding with. Now, that will cover just the majority of everything. I do want to end this with saying that if you're requiring no doc, sure, you can get through it. Some of the banks, if you don't qualify, then you have this alternative through the credit line hybrid. And it's one of the best, if not the one, for startups as well as non-startups. So if you're a startup company who doesn't qualify for other forms, maybe they're asking for some type of annual revenue, pay stubs, taxes, etc., W-2 for you to get into a personal / startup loan situation, and you don't have that, this would be a great alternative as there are no cash flow requirements. You can build this, get these limits, start stacking, and start understanding how you can get approved for a great amount of money. And usually those who get approved for more have, the least amount of inquiries, utilization ratio is less, and the FICO credit score, or, where we're looking at that and where it's reporting, it's great, and so forth. But this is an alternative option for you to look at. Low doc, if you want to look at some of those options, I'll leave them down below, but you have things like merchant cash advance, a hybrid cash advance, where you could just, with 3 months or 3 to 6 plus months of bank statements for the most part, and just a voided check, copy of your driver's license, sometimes a credit card processing statement if applicable. That's low doc. Higher doc, if you've gone through the SBA, you've seen it, that would require more extensive. It can be a hard pull from an SBA 7A loan perspective at the beginning, and so forth. So that's something to be aware of. And again, if you're looking for help on all of this, this questionnaire will be down below in the description. All other business funding options, how to get faster access to funds. If you don't want to go the credit line hybrid route, what I recommend, those programs will be down below. But this, you can get in touch with me and I will show you your best option and options in a very customized and personalized approach to help you along your way, and so much more. And it'll look something like this more or less. It'll come with the free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist to get you approved for funding much faster. But check out this content down below, attend the webinar if there is one. If not, just get in touch here and just understand what I just went through, some of these qualifications, how to qualify with the 680 plus credit score with all 3 consumer credit bureaus. So that's what it's looking at. And credit card 3 years old with a 5,000 plus limit. Sometimes you can get through with the 2,000 plus limit, but 5,000 is what we have here. Must be a primary card, minimum of 2 open revolving accounts within a year and a half of good payment history, under 40% utilization on all revolving accounts, no more than 4 unsecured accounts open in the past 12 months, no more than 4 to 6 inquiries, pretty big, per bureau in the last 6 months, preferably less, no bankruptcies within the past 7 years, and then no open unpaid collections, liens, or judgments, which I do see a lot of people having. So if you can get that cleared up, that would really help you out. Now, that is everything from me. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to voice them down below. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. And click that bell notification icon so you do not miss any future videos I come out with. If you got value out of this, please share this with others who you feel will get the value out of it. And for all information, please refer to the description to get started. That'll all be for now. Thank you.